Back on the island, the doctor examines the queen and soon discovers a rash. This rash was well known, and it is caused by poison from a frog that is native to these small groups of islands. He immediately uses some herbs and other minerals ground together to make a tea and helps the queen to sit up. She takes small sips, coughing and spluttering. The queen tries to knock it out of his hand. He tries his best to explain to her that the medication will counteract the poison she'd been given. At this point, the queen was so weak she couldn't fight him, and so just drank the tea and lost consciousness. A few hours passed, and she opened her eyes. "Where am I?" the queen asks. "Your Majesty, you are in the Lula Islands. You became very sick on board the ship, and His Majesty the King had you brought here as he feared you may die without medical help," replied the doctor. "I've examined you and discovered you had a rash caused by poison. Do you know of anyone on board who wanted to kill you?" "No," replied the queen. "Oh, except, has the ship left port? I need to warn my husband about 2 people on board I believe are going to harm him." "Where are my children?" cried the queen. "I've got to get up. I have to warn them." The queen tried to stand up and fell to the ground. "Your Majesty, please. You are far too weak to do anything just now. Please rest, and we'll try to send a fishing boat to warn the king. Now you must rest. You have been poisoned, and your body needs to recover." The doctor lifted her back onto the bed, and with sheer exhaustion, she fell asleep. The doctor sent word to one of the fishing boats to find the ch1 and warn the king that someone had poisoned his wife and was plotting to harm him and his children. Back on the ch1, the plotters had altered the maps, taking the ship into troubled waters. There was a storm starting out at sea. The king knew they were in for a rough time. If only he could reach the other side of the islands, the water would be calmer, and he knew that's where all the whales were. He was determined to take a whale back to ch1. "Drop the sails! Let's beat the storm and reach the other side of the islands before it hits us. We can catch some whales then," ordered the king. The crew did as they were told. None of them knew the maps had been tampered with. The ch1 was sailing at full speed. The storm was coming closer. No one noticed the whale heading straight toward them. Then, a huge crash, the loudest bang. The ship was thrown sideways. Some of the crew fell overboard. The king's head struck the wheel, and he fell unconscious. Below deck, water rushed in. Vio and May tried to escape, but the water was too fast. They were trapped. The force pulled them into the freezing sea. On deck, Bruandi tied a length of rope around himself, the king and Sarhuta. Then, grabbing hold of a barrel, they plunged into the cold water. The shock stole their breath. And then, something slammed into them. Everything went black. Meanwhile, the storm closed in. May was sinking deep into the icy water, drifting in and out of consciousness. She saw Nanani floating, as though flying toward her, surrounded by a beautiful white light. Nanani took her hand. May felt peace. She wasn't scared. She wasn't cold. She could breathe. Everything slowed. And then, there was nothing. From the distance, 2 plotters watched as the ship sank, and the king disappeared beneath the waves. They smiled. "We did it. The king is dead."